Hello together and welcome to my channel. So recently I talked with my friend and we had a really great insight, and I really want to share this with you guys because I think it's absolutely valuable. And it has to do with how you can get into the flow or the zone, how it's also be called. It's like this state where you are completely absorbed in what you are doing, and you are no longer self-conscious or having doubts or having second thoughts and everything, but you are like you are maximally focused and you kind of forget everything else, and what you are doing it really as good as you can. And that's a great state to be in. And so this is the topic of this video, how you can get into the zone. And we started at the point where, we said you always have some trouble, like you virtually never just feel fine. There is always something that's bothering you. Is it maybe some trouble with your relationship, or some trouble with your job, or with your house or mortgage or rent or your parents, or there's always something that is not quite right. And my friend said, he always hoped that he would kind of get out of this and get to the point where it would just be fine for once, but it kind of doesn't happen. And so I think that's life. You are always in a suboptimal state, and you always see something that could be better or that isn't as good as it could or should be. And that just seems to me to be a part of life. I think this is always like that. It's never everything's fine. And so we talked about how can you deal with that. And so my friend said, he thinks that's why people really like distracting themselves. So, and I completely agree. So if you go out, or if you drink a lot of alcohol, or if you go to watch a movie, or you do something that is really fun, then you can kind of just enjoy the moment and forget all the troubles that you have. And that is true. But the problem is, after the moment is over, you come back and your troubles are still there. Plus, as time goes by, new troubles keep coming in. So basically it gets worse over time, because you don't solve the problems that are bothering you. They all remain, but new problems keep coming in. So that's not a good long-term strategy, even though it's probably okay to distract yourself once in a while for but you should keep an eye on this. So we said that, and then what I said is, but there is also the other thing you can do, which is sometimes you attend to the right problem, which may be the most important problem at that time. You attend to the right problem in the right way at the right time. And then you get into the flow, and you also forget your troubles. You also don't think about everything else that is bothering you, because you are now focused on solving the most important thing. And the good thing is, if you wake up from the flow and you kind of come out of this being fully focused, and you become self-conscious again and start thinking about all your troubles, then there are fewer troubles, because you have solved something while you were in this flow state. And so this is actually a good long-term strategy. The more you can get into the flow, the better. And the flow is like, it's one of these rare opportunities, and it's really rare, where you can have your cake and eat it too. Because you feel good, you feel effective, you feel like you are making progress, you have positive emotion, and you are solving your problems at the same time. Because usually solving your problems is work, and it's kind of, yeah, you can do it, but you have to kind of make yourself do it, and there is always 10 things you would be rather doing. But if you can get into the flow state, then that's no longer the case, but you're still solving your problems, which is great. So that's that. And so then I asked, I'm just looking on my list here because I need some structure to make the video work. So I asked my friend what helps him get into the flow. Like, what factors make it more likely that he will get into the flow. And so he said, for example, when he is working on some software problem, and the software architecture is set up really well so that he can integrate this new feature very nicely into the architecture, then he can often get into the flow, because then it's like, I can do this, I can do that, I understand the structure, I can use the structure allows me to solve this problem, and I find this problem to actually be a problem, and that it's actually sensible to solve it. And so then you get into the flow. And the opposite kind of problem, where the software is written really badly, it has basically no structure whatsoever, the task that you are required to do, you don't even think is sensible, and the structure doesn't really allow you to do it. Then you don't get into the flow. Then you get into this feeling of, oh my god, this is absolutely annoying. I would much rather just walk away from this and go do something else. Like distract myself or just get away from it, because it's too much chaos. That's the thing. It's too much chaos, and you can't sort it out. And so, because the other thing, the software architecture, that's basically order. So the thing that supports you getting into the flow is a good structure, a good order, which is, in Peterson's words, the habitable order. If you have a habitable order, then that allows you to get into the flow. Now, the other extreme is if the order is so rigid that you can't change anything. So these are like the companies that have like 10,000 sites of regulations, and you can't even change one little piece on the software without getting permission from like 5 different departments. And so basically the structure completely crushes you, and you can't move and you can't do anything. And then you also don't get into the flow. You're paralyzed again, basically. So too much order paralyzes, too much chaos paralyzes, but the right amount of useful order, that allows you to get into the flow, because also you are actually on the border of the structure, on the border of order and chaos. You are solving this task, which is a part of chaos, and you are increasing the functionality of the structure as you are doing it. And so that's the best you can do, and that's when you get into the flow. And Peterson talks a lot about this, and I think it's absolutely great. And he even says that our minds are attuned to figuring out when we are being maximally efficient at improving life, at improving the structure, because then we feel that we are in the flow or in the zone. So that's great. And so I really am just, it's so great, this realization with the order, that the good order helps you get into the flow. And it makes sense too, because if you have order, then you can solve problems more efficiently. And then you can even increase the order more efficiently. And so, I have to sneeze. So, yeah. So, just imagine for an example that you get a letter from the government, because, yeah, that's just the example that comes to my mind. Actually, it's the one that we used a couple of days ago. So you get a letter from the government that you could get your health insurance, like get a deduction on the cost if you send them this and that information. Now, this is probably a good thing. You can save some money. That's cool. So, but now imagine you have all your paper just in one huge stack, or maybe in a corner of your room. It's just lying there. All of your paper, all of your files from the last 10 years are just lying there in that corner. Now, good luck finding that information that you should send them to get this deduction in health insurance cost. This is like a major battle against the god of chaos, because you have to dig into that pile of paper, and it could take you anywhere from 10 minutes to a full day to find this stupid piece of paper that you need to scan and send them a copy. But then, once you've done it, you throw it all back on this pile of paper, and if you have to find it again tomorrow, then you have to go do the same battle again. So it's not even productive. You are not improving the structure. You are just, if you are in chaos, then every task is like a major battle, a major challenge, and you cannot estimate how much energy it will take. You cannot estimate if you can do it or not. So you're in chaos. And now imagine, on the other hand, you have all your paper from the last 10 years neatly organized in different folders. And so you get this letter, you say no problem, you take the right folder out of the shelf, take the right thing out of the folder, scan it, put it back in the shelf, and you're done in like 5 minutes at most. You know you will be done in 5 minutes even before you start, and you know that if you do it, you will save money. So that means the structure allows you, the order allows you to solve this problem way more efficient, and solving this problem creates a little bit more order, because now you save money, so you can use this money for something else, and so that's a good thing. And so if you have a good order, then the order actually even increases the speed at which you can increase your order and the quality of your life. And that's probably also why, just thinking, probably this is also why the Matthew principle applies. That the more successful you are, the more successful you become. And the less successful you are, the even less successful you become. So it's like you can accelerate upwards or you can accelerate downwards. But it's always exponential. It's basically compound interest, because as you build more order, then you have more order which supports you to build even more order even faster. So that's great. Just looking on my list again. Yes, it makes you more efficient. Yes, exactly. So the thing is also that Peterson talks about is that we do not see objects and then infer use, but we see, when we look at the world, we see tools and obstacles. So we see things that support us in attaining our goal. We see things that hinder us from attaining our goal. And we see a whole bunch of things that are irrelevant, and we kind of don't care about these. Now, if you have ordered your room or your house properly, then what that means is that your room is full of tools and there are no obstacles. So your whole environment should support you doing the things that are good for you, and it should hinder you doing the things that are bad for you. Or at least it should not provide obstacles to you doing the things that are good for you. Yeah, and maybe it should even put some checks and balances so that you don't do things that are bad for you. So one example is, if you have trouble resisting sweets, then don't buy a lot of cookies. Buy a lot of vegetables and fruits, and then if you get hungry around some time of the day and you feel, I would really like to eat a whole bar of chocolate right now, then if you don't have it in your home, the chances are that you won't eat it because you will be too lazy to go to the shop. But you think, I really want chocolate, but I have this good, tasty looking banana, so that's the best I have. So you will eat the banana instead, and you will be much healthier. So that's the thing. If you have cleaned up your room or your house, your environment, then you have organized it in a way that it is full of tools and free from obstacles. And because obstacles give you negative emotion and tools give you positive emotion, your environment will then make you feel better. And it's not just like random, but it will make you feel better because it helps you do the things that are good for you. It helps you get into the flow. It helps you progress in life, and that's why you feel good about it, because you're progressing. So yeah, and yep, I've covered all of this, and yeah, so I really get this kick out of this realization that as you improve your order around you, then you can improve even faster. So it's like accelerating. It's the idea of compound interest. And because we all know this problem that we always have something that bothers us, you always have something on your mind, and that is and that's annoying because we would much rather not be bothered all the time. And so how can you deal with this? You deal with it by improving the order you live in. By improving this order, you increase at the same time the likelihood that you will get into the zone and that you will feel great while you even increase the order again. And so that's just great. That's just amazing. So basically, I really from all of this, like from this conversation about 2 or 3 days ago, I really decided that I want to like double and quadruple my effort to make order in my room and in my house, and in my life in general, because I realized, okay, it feels good to make order. It feels even better if you can get into the zone, because then you are doing something meaningful that you are proud and happy you did afterwards, and you feel even good while you are doing it. So that's like the jackpot. That's having your cake and eating it too. And improving your order improves the probability that you will get into the zone. So it's win-win-win. So yeah, it's really great. And the last thing I want to say is that order is not only the physical objects in your environment. That's just one aspect of order. Order is also having a budget, having a calendar, knowing what you do when you do it, having a routine, like having a morning routine. When you get up, you know your morning routine and you do it, and you know that it will be good for you. So that helps you start the day productively and not kind of drift around and waste a lot of time. Order also means all of your relationships. Having good relationships with your friends, with your family, like improving these relationships, taking care of them. Order also means being healthy, exercising regularly, having good food. Like order means all of this stuff. And so basically what you can say, order means order in every relevant scale of time and in every relevant scale of what's the word? Spatial and temporal resolution. Yeah, that's the thing I was searching. So order means that I have order in my drawers, I have order on my desk, I have order in my room, but also I have a process that helps me maintain this order today and next week and next year, and I have a plan for the year. I have a plan maybe for my life, even that would be great. I have a plan for the day. I have my routines in place that help me get going. My relationships are working. I have a schedule that allows me to maintain my relationships and maybe even improve them. I have a financial plan that allows me maybe even more financial freedom in the future than I have now. And so it's on every level of spatial and temporal resolution, there can be order or chaos. And so there is a lot of stuff to clean up and to make order. But the good thing is like the compound interest. So yeah, I think that's great. That's all I wanted to say in this video. I think, yeah, I really think it makes sense that order helps you get into the flow or into the zone more frequently. And it's also the same if you look, for example, with athletes, because this phrase, the zone, comes, I think, from an athlete that is during a very important tournament where he is like completely there and just absolutely at the top of his ability performs like, and he doesn't second guess himself and hinder himself. It's like, yeah, you're in the zone. You're like in the perfect mode of being at the right time in the right place. And so you are just like every one of these levels of reality kind of align themselves perfectly, and you are like right there in the middle of it. So you are properly aligned to the world, to the world, yeah. But athletes only ever reach this point because they have and had for a long time a structure and order. So you have to train like 6 times a week for like 10 years to become really good at a sport. And so you need to order everything, every aspect, your diet, your training, your regeneration, your life, your finances. You need to order everything so that you can get to this level of performance, and then as like the cherry on top of this whole thing, you get this perfect moment where you are in the zone. But it comes, you couldn't get there without all the underlying order and discipline and structure. And so I think that's great. I hope you found it interesting. Please let me know what you think. Let me know especially what helps you to get into the zone. And thanks for watching. Leave a comment and I'll see you on another video. So take care. Bye. Well, I'm really happy about this video and about this topic. So yeah, see you.